Welcome everybody to the 68th Status Town Hall on October the 26th. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy our updates today. First up, we are going to hear from Theo on the People Ops side, who will give us an update on our live vacancies. Thanks, Theo.
Hey, Terry, thanks for the intro. Status is going on a hiring spree again. VAC research team is looking for someone to drive the JS implementation of Waku and partner with wallets, decentralized applications, and develop new integrations between Waku and their products. Nimbus team is looking for a NIM engineer, someone that will work in a developer relationship, developer experience facing role. We need someone that can translate the latest Ethereum 2.0 research like bonding curves, BLS signature, and Randall games into practical, performant, and reusable libraries. Finance team is looking for an accountant. We still need someone to help steward culture, represent people, and drive engagement at Status. So someone to lead the people operations team. And we have a new position open within the infrastructure team. We're looking for a system administrator to help support the team with infrastructure management, continuous integration, monetization, and automation. Passing on to you, Terry.
Thank you. Thanks for that update, Theo. Next up, we have the update from finance. So I'd like to introduce you to Ruslan, who will be able to give you the next update. Over to you, Ruslan.
So here is the update on the finance team. So we decided to make an overview about our treasury resources and runway for our community. Our treasury has $70 million equivalent of liquid assets, and we have three different types of assets. Tier 1, which we call fiat assets. Tier 2 is the basket of different crypto assets, and Tier 3 is the basket of our own S&T tokens in the treasury. And 70 million is distributed between those three tiers in the following way. 6.9 million is fiat, which gives us approximately six months of runway only in fiat. $36 million in crypto assets, which gives us an additional 33 months of runway, plus 26.7 million in S&T assets, which gives us an additional 24 months of runway. As you may see, our fiat runway is 6 months. That was the situation at the beginning of the previous week. In our treasury committee, we made a decision to hedge exposure to crypto and go long in fiat, which means that we sold some crypto assets during the previous week, and we continue selling them in the following weeks in order to increase the size of our fiat assets. And we plan to hedge our fiat runway to 12 months. We also have discussions about hedging or prolonging our fiat runway for a longer period, which is subject to approving our budgets, which we're almost done with preparing. And then probably the distribution of our treasury assets will be more in favor of fiat, and the weight of crypto assets will reduce in the future. So that's it from my side. Thanks a lot. And next to Terry.
Thanks, Ruslan. That was really interesting. And it's great to hear an update from finance. So thank you very much. Over to Andreas on the core team. Thanks, Andreas.
Hiya, thank you. So last week we released 1.8. So that was a version we released just some minor features and a few bug fixes. And we have two planned release, 1.9. You can look at the scope there. There's basically gonna have there's gonna be a mixture of features and bug fixes, and then 1.10, which I haven't finalized the scope yet. And we keep on working on basically the feature that we've been working for a while now, which is moderated public chats, local notification, which is going to be in 1.9, profile status updates, which is going to be probably on 1.10, link unfair link, that's scheduled for 1.9, and profile pictures. That's something that we started working recently. And so I guess that's it from Carl, and back to you. Thank you, Terry.
Thanks very much. Next up, we are going to hear from Alec on the growth and retention. So over to you, Alec. Thank you.
Affects our analytics. There are two things. There are things we don't know. There are things we can only approximate, and there are things we know for sure. So let's start there. That's the slide you can see. So what we've got on here is chart representing the app installs volume over time. I guess you can barely see the orange bar on the top for iOS installs, right? So that's not a coincidence. For various of reasons, we are getting more than 99% of our app installs on Android. Only in this period we are looking at, which is July 24th to October 21st, we had more than 274,000 installs on Android and less than 2,000 on iOS. In this whole year, we had over 387,000 app installs on Android and almost, like we are just missing 5,000 installs on iOS. So basically, more than 99% of all our app installs happen on Android. That's why. Let's take just a quick closer look at Android app installs on the next slide. So what you can see here is the green area on the top. That's the volume of Android app installs we had that day, any day. Red area on the bottom is the volume of Android app uninstalls we had. And the difference is represented by the bar chart. So let's go to the next slide. What you can see basically is that in general, we are getting thousands of new installs per day, every day. And yes, the vast majority of these installs come from paid sources. In the middle of the chart, you will see a series of red bars. So these were the days where we're losing users. And these were the days during which we stopped app install campaigns due to the spam attack. So new installs are cool, we all love them, but that's not what we are after. Even with the tracking limitations I mentioned at the very beginning, we still have some methods to estimate the user's base change, which will be shown on the next slide. Okay, so this one seems complex, but it isn't. What this chart shows is bar chart. So this whole thing, the number of installs, green bar plus the orange portion. That's the sum of how many installs we got. Orange portion of the bar, so the one on the bottom, is how many new peers we saw that day. And by peers, I mean the one using Messenger functionality. And if we had, let's say, 100 app installs and 50 new peers, so new users using the Messenger functionality, then the green bar and orange, the green portion or orange portion would take exactly 50% of the whole bar. So that's a sum. Every bar is a sum. The purple line shows the ratio of new peers to the total number of app installs. And what we would like to know with this metrics is like how app installs translate into Messenger users. And so the higher the ratio, the more new Messenger users out of any given app installs volume. Let's go to the next slide. So that's almost the same slide, just some other things are highlighted. So it seems that before the spam attack, on average, 100 installs gave us 19 new peers, and now this is 29 peers out of 100 installs. So interesting improvement there. And while we are on the subject of peers, let's go to the next chart, which should be even next. Maybe I just duplicated them. Yes. So what you can see here, bar chart. These are that's the number of peers, both new and returning. and the purple line, that's the average peer activity time measured in minutes, which basically is just number of pings these peers responded to, and just translated into minutes. So what you can see is that since 1.7, and definitely after the spam attack, it seems that our users tend to spend more time in the app, or I don't know, for some reason, peers are just active for a longer time, which we can be able to see clearly on the next slide. Before the spam attack, on average, peers were active for 11 minutes. Now it's almost 40 minutes. So that's an improvement right there. That's all from me. Every Friday just before the town hall, there is a metrics review call, and during that call we discuss numbers, look at chart like this you saw, and brainstorm. So all of you interested in status growth and retention, please feel free to join. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks very much for your update. That was awesome. It was great to hear. Thank you. Next up, we are going to hear from Corey and Jacob on the security and infrastructure side. Over to you, Corey.
Hello, everyone. Big news here. HackerOne, which we've had a private campaign going for over a year now to look at various status assets and getting people to kind of look for bugs, incentivize people to look for security vulnerabilities and disclose them to us, has grown and grown and grown, and now we've made it public. So if you'd like to look for security vulnerabilities within status assets and get paid for it potentially based on the quality of your disclosure, go to HackerOne, look for it, look us up, and get going. All of the rules of the policy, what you can look at, how to disclose things is inside there. We're really, really happy with that, and we'll be building this program out more and more to drive people to all of our various programs and code bases so that they can help us increase the overall security of status and get paid for it. So first 2 weeks of this look good. Only minor issues were identified. And this is going from, this is really nice, but it's going from around 5,000 researchers to over 30,000 researchers just on the HackerOne, I guess, hacker pool, if you will. So really happy with that. Looking forward to seeing what else people kind of disclose to us and how we can make status more secure. To further that, desktop app and the wallet have been added to the desktop client during this beta. So this has helped us gathering early data within HackerOne for security findings and insights, so that as we roll out more and more features and more production-ready levels of desktop status, it can come out with a better security confidence to make sure that your keys are safe and so are your messages. Another news: the distributor app, which is an initiative by the status security team to securely retrieve executables, is very well underway. We have a locked-in scope for the MVP, or minimum viable product, which we plan to get out as soon as possible, hopefully by the end of the year. So we're actively pushing towards finding better ways of distributing applications in a decentralized manner. So on unfortunate news, but kind of inevitable, we've seen some scam messages in the status public channels. It should be mentioned that we've looked at the binaries. It's the messages we're trying to push out official quote unquote official status releases with a bunch of instructions. And when we analyzed the binaries, they were in no way, shape, or form the status messenger. So if you're downloading random things from people you don't know in a completely anonymous and censorship-resistant network, be careful. It's probably not a good idea. It should be reiterated that status will never push official information through the open public channels, especially by random names. So if you see that, block that person and move on. And we're always diligent looking at the messages that we can see and that are obvious spam like this to see what effect they may have on our users and what we can do about keeping them from being negatively impacted by them. That's it for me. Always back up your seed phrase, remember your password, and get a key card.
Cheers, Corey. Over to you, Jacob.
Hey. We've been doing some work with Vitaly on essentially integrating the mobile app with NIM status, since we want to re-implement essentially Waku, which already is implemented. You just have to kind of gradually move it over to the NIM implementation. And as part of that work, we've found some issues with, for example, deterministic fetching of submodules in Nix, because NIM builds do use submodules quite extensively. There's also a coming improvement to the NDK bundle downloads, which people have reported issues with, because it's quite a big file, and on some slow connections it can fail. So if you're having that issue, hopefully we'll have a solution within the next week or two. There might be also some news in terms of a NIM Waku fleet. We're doing some work on that, and it might be expanded in the future to be bigger, and maybe even replace the status Go fleet in the longer term future. In regard to the HackerOne program, we've moved our internal infrastructure that is not part of the HackerOne program under a specific domain, just to make it clear to people what is and what is not in scope, and anything under infra.status.im is not in scope. And there's also ongoing work on the Hive and integrating with Cortex for researching security incidents. Yeah, I'm replacing Isinga 2 with Caput because Isinga was just too unstable, and we need stable Canary services for websites and our nodes. So that's still ongoing because it lacks integration with Victoriops, but that shouldn't be that difficult. There's some improvements coming to end-to-end tests, possibly, because we don't want to abuse Infura API with our end-to-end tests, which are quite extensive, and we might be switching to our own fully synced either Coerly or Ropsten nodes. Probably Ropsten, might be easier. And some upgrades in terms of monitoring infrastructure, especially metrics. That's about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. Right, now we're going to get an update from Johnny on the marketing side. Over to you, Johnny.
Thanks, Terry. So just a few things to highlight today. The influencer program is picking up, and that's working quite well in Brazil and Argentina. Eduardo's done a really great job finding new influencers in Brazil. We've got content from Crypto Maniacos, Bruno Germano, a new influencer, Augusto Bacchus, who's a bit more technical, and the Udemy course from Professor Fernando Amaral is coming together. So really excited to see all that. And likewise, Alan's done outreach to some more influencers in Argentina, and we're seeing more content from Block Latina, Juan Igayo, and we've had a bunch of calls over the past 2 weeks with new influencers, so expect to see some more content from Argentina. And this is also expanding into places like Colombia and other South American countries, which is great. Alec is working on a number of bots to help with some retention and just measurement within status. So we're working on a chat bot, the copy's nearly done. We're working on a reply bot, posting bot. All of these will just pull in material from other places into status just to kind of keep ongoing conversation going. And we'll be measuring that, the impact on retention. So Simon's been running a number of install campaigns, and we've seen a slight increase in daily volumes, while our cost per install remains stable, which is great. And we've noticed some interesting trends. Nigeria, for example, the numbers are significantly higher, so we're going to be investigating that further over the course of the next couple of weeks. And then Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, you can look at the numbers there. And we're using these campaigns, obviously to to test our CPI and to drive installs, but also to do a bit of research as to which markets we should be working in next. So we've done the work in Brazil and Argentina, and we're looking at the numbers, potentially Nigeria, Colombia, Peru, to help us determine where to focus resources and efforts next. So next slide. There's a few ongoing events. So we've got the Vancouver Biennale with Jessica Angel and the Art Project. So we ran a sticker market competition, or we're running one, which is exciting. It's a design community, and hopefully we'll see some really good stuff there. And then Simone and I have been working with the art project community, which once again is run by Jessica. And we did a demo for the event, which will be broadcast to the participants, which was great. We walked through the process of purchasing an NFT in Status with SuperRare, and that all went pretty well. And just some media that we've got. Corey was featured in Cointelegraph, and we've also got some good coverage in Argentina. We were featured in an article along with DAI and MakerDAO, which is always great. And I believe that's it for me.
Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate the update. Right now, we're going to hear from Simona on the community side.
Thank you, Terry. Hi, everyone. A really quick one from me, because there's a lot of things that are ongoing and I don't want to repeat them until they actually manifest. So ecosystem activations, we have an AMA with RAC this week. It's on Thursday at 11 a.m. EST. He's a Grammy winning artist, and he has just launched his own token. So what we will do is, for the best questions, he will reward the people who ask them with some RAC. So tune in. We'll share more details on Twitter, and we'll share a link to the form to gather questions in Status and on Twitter as well. So stay tuned. Speaking of SuperRare, we're extending our collaboration with them. We're going to have an AMA with them, but also a few other surprise collabs in the works. We're also going to be chatting to Dorado from Center for Growth and Opportunity at Utah State University. That should be a really interesting conversation. That's slated for November. Again, we'll share more details as we get closer. The Giving Partnership 2021 is shaping up to be the year of privacy and security. We have a bunch of things with them, including a privacy round for Gitcoin grants, and also a privacy and security focused kernel cohort coming in 2021. Again, we'll be able to share a lot of those details with you. So if you are passionate about privacy and security, you'll be able to get involved in the kernel cohort, and we'll be feeding those in as they come. Educational initiatives, as I say, ongoing, reworking some of the ambassador and contributor flows. If you have any suggestions for me, please do get in touch with me. I'm Simona in Status, so just ping me. And then events, as Johnny mentioned, the 2 sticker competitions are. There's one for East Berlin for their virtual conference 2.5, and then the Vancouver Biennale Art Project Decentralized one also live. So those are the links. I will reshare them in Status as well. So please get involved if you are into design and stickers. And that's it from me. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks so much, Simona. That was really great. Right, so that's it from us today. There wasn't any questions in our on Status. So if you do have any questions, please do send them over within the next fortnight, and we can answer those for you next town hall, which will be on the 9th of November. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us, and thanks to everyone for their updates. Stay safe, and we will reconvene in 2 weeks' time. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care.